Rocky, first things first, when you look at your guys' schedule, 5 of your next 7 on the road, so I know you got to be road warriors, and it's every season you're going to go through a stretch like this. So what is the next couple of games specifically with Western and Purdue-Fort Wayne stand out coming up this week, Rocky?
You look at winning conference championships, and the champions always get a couple on the road. So far, we haven't really been able to do that yet, but we really look at it, and we want to focus up and get these games.
You look at last year during this time, the month of February hit, and it kind of just clicked for this team going into the Summit League tournament. How much does that help this year's team understanding what it takes to win games in February, March, once we start turning the page later this week, Rocky?
Yeah, it's always helped having a veteran group that's been there and done that since last year. Our depth has helped throughout the course of the season. That's going to give some of our guys some fresh legs towards the end of the season. The knowledge and confidence towards the end of the season that a couple of our guys and most of our guys have is going to be really helpful to get some of these games in February and March.
What is it about climbing the mountain during this time of the year? What did you learn about yourself, but also as a team last year, about what it took to win games during this time, playing a team a second time around once you get to that part of the Summit League schedule, and understanding winning games, at the Summit League and going to Dayton, and 24 hours later, boom, you're in Columbia, South Carolina. What did you kind of gain from that experience?
I think the biggest thing is that you always have just like a little bit more to give. Every single game last year, especially the second time you play a team, there are really no secrets. You already know the game plan of each other. You know the scouting reports. You just got to go out there and give a little bit more than the other team, and that's usually the team that comes out with the W.
Specifically for you, that inside-out game, I know the last game at home, you're able to get a couple three-pointers off early in the first half, but also you can go back down and try to block some shots, bang on the inside, finish someone over the block. How big is that in today's game of basketball, being a kind of two-way? You're not just going back to the rim anymore as a big guy, that you have to shoot that 15, 20-foot, or even take a couple dribbles and kind of get to the free throw line, or possibly even to the rim.
Yeah, it makes the defense really have to adjust how they guard. Normally the opposing 5-man is all around the rim, being a rim protector, but when you're able to pull them out in some situations, it really changes up the defensive focus. But every now and then, obviously, it's great to get your back to the basket, get some touches down low, and change the passing angles of everything, but it definitely helps both ways.
Traits of this year's team, what do you like so far as we kind of get to the last, month of the regular season here, Rocky?
One of the biggest things that stood out to me this entire year is just our team chemistry. I don't know if I've ever been on a team that's been closer than these guys have, and that's really saying something in college. So I think that's one of the biggest things. Obviously, I think we've grown a lot since the beginning of the year. Even after coming off our run last year, I think we've even grown since then. So I think growth and our team chemistry are the two biggest things.
Talking with Rocky Cruiser again, 6'10" junior forward from White Bear Lake, Minnesota for North Dakota State. White Bear Lake, a kind of a fun question for you here. What is something about White Bear Lake that people might not know about, in terms of if someone asks you about going to Tino Grace High School, but more specifically about White Bear Lake, Rocky?
Yeah, we actually have 2 high schools. So one of them is for 9th and 10th, and the other one is juniors and seniors. So there's a north and south campus. That's something that not many people know.
Going to specifically off the court, major in biological sciences. First, what is that? And second, after you're done playing here, what's kind of the future?
Yeah, so it's basically, my interests include like human and kinesiology. So leading to that kind of post-basketball career would be something to help with, weight training, physical therapy, chiropractic, something to help people get back to the game that they love, or get better at the game they love.
Is this something that's a 4-year degree? Is it after you're done here with the 4 years, is there a couple more years of schooling in terms of graduate school?
Yeah, I haven't completely decided what I want to do yet. Haven't gotten that far, but that's what we're prepared for. I got all my prerequisite courses to go pretty much to whatever type of school I want to, whatever I end up deciding.
Okay, social media app, first thing you check in the morning is?
Probably Instagram. I think I'm a big Instagram guy over Twitter.
What's the reason you like Instagram more over Twitter? Is it just the simple fact that you're actually going to get a video or a photo compared to maybe a text? I
think so, yeah. Waking up in the morning, I'm a little bit groggy, so I don't really think I can, sift through all the words of Twitter. So just sitting in there and watching all those videos and pictures is kind of cool.
All right, so best pregame meal is what?
We've had a steak a couple of times, and I think that is pretty darn good. I think it's pretty darn good.
After a game, if you had a post-game meal, what would be? Would you go steak again, steak on steak, or would you change the diet a little bit?
I think I'd go. That's a tough question. I think I'd go a nice sub. We get a couple of different places here, but I think a really nice warm sub would be a nice after game meal.
To date right now, if I had to go back to maybe when you were playing in fourth grade or high school or even your time here at North Dakota State, most memorable game when someone talks to you about your career to this point and says, hey, did you have a buzzer beater, or what do you remember most? What is your most memorable game?
Obviously there are a ton of different memories throughout my basketball career. The one memory for some reason that always sticks out is back when I was in fifth grade. We were playing in a Wisconsin GNBL is what we called it back in White Bear, and we were down by one with the closing seconds on, so we pushed it down the court, and I sealed on the block, and they gave me a wraparound post feed. And obviously it wasn't pretty as a fifth grader, but I just banked it in with the clock expiring. So that's always going to be in my mind, I think.
Last thing for you, Rocky. Just talking about the green and gold here at North Dakota State. What does it take to be a player under Coach Dave Richmond, and what have you kind of learned about yourself, in your couple of years here in Fargo?
Yeah, as a senior, getting college looks, you think you can do anything and play anywhere, obviously. I think it's a really big adjustment going from high school to college. So you really have to look at yourself kind of in the mirror and check your toughness, physical, mental, emotional toughness, and really build on that. I think that's the biggest thing to make the jump from high school to college.
Rocky, thanks for the hard questions. Thanks for the fun questions. Hopefully get some steak this week, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you very much.